Hi friends, my name is Devin and I am a college student with depression. Before I start this video off, I would just like to acknowledge that I'm filming this on Treaty 6 territory and I would like to offer my respect to the Indigenous people who call this territory home. Now if you're watching this video, I think it's safe to assume that your attention span is about as short as mine, so I'm going to get to the point here as quickly as possible. I'm currently in my third year of university and I have struggled with depression since I was about 14 years old. I definitely don't have this whole thing down and I'm never going to be perfect, but here are some things that I've learned along the way that may help you. I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts. Things that you can do before the school year starts, things that you can do during the school year before a depressive episode hits, and things that you can do to get through a depressive episode while you are in school. So step 1, what can you do to prepare for the school year? My greatest tip here is to reach out for help before the semester starts. Many people don't know this, but your school's disability center will probably help out kids with depression. There are accommodations that can be made for kids that are struggling with mental health, and I encourage you to look into those. I would also encourage you to see your professors as a resource. Throughout my academic career, I've had some professors that have been super helpful with making accommodations for me in their class. Without professors like those, I would not have been able to get through some semesters. The last thing you should consider before the school year starts is getting all of your deadlines written down in one place. This makes it easy to access and easy to see, and you are less likely to forget things later on. Throughout the school year, I try to be very prepared in the case that a depressive episode hits me out of the blue. There are a few things that you can do to be ready for this. My first tip here is to have all of your school supplies within arm's reach of your bed. I charge my laptop on the floor near my bed, I have my planner on my nightstand, and I have pens, pencils, paper, all within arm's reach. When a bad episode hits me, I find that getting out of bed can be the biggest challenge of my day. This can allow you to make any kind of important deadlines that you might have that day without having to leave your bed. Another thing that helps me is anticipating larger projects and getting a head start on them. I find that when my depression gets bad, it can be really hard to do schoolwork. Getting a head start on these bigger projects gives you a little bit more wiggle room in case there are days or weeks that you can't work on it. The last thing that I have found to be super helpful throughout the year is to have consistent eating, consistent exercise, and good sleep. These 3 things are going to get your physical health as good as it can be, and that helps you deal with your mental health as well. I find that my depression is a lot more manageable when I'm taking care of my physical health. Now, here are the things that I do to get through a depressive episode. My number 1 tip here is to meet yourself where you are. Getting out of bed and going to class every day is not always realistic. If an episode hits and you can't get out of bed, it is always better to attend the Zoom class than to just lie there and miss out on all of the information. You may not get much out of that class, but it's always better than to miss it completely. Throughout my time in university, I have missed probably hundreds of small assignments. But realistically, that assignment worth a participation grade is not as important as that essay that's worth 20%. Take the smaller assignments out of the equation so that you can focus all of your mental energy on the bigger assignments. When it comes to actually doing the bigger assignments, split it up into tiny pieces. I'm talking write 1 sentence at a time type thing. Your attention span is probably already shot, and trying to do a big chunk of work at a time is just going to make you frustrated. Splitting assignments into bite-sized pieces will help you make some kind of progress. And slow progress is always better than no progress. The last thing you can do to help yourself during a depressive episode is reach out. Let your family and friends know what is going on so that they aren't worried. And if you're worried you're not going to meet a deadline, let your professor know. Almost all professors will offer at least a 24-hour grace period, especially if you let them know what's going on. And don't be afraid to reach out to wellness and psychological services. Their counselors are trained to help you, and you are paying for them, so you might as well make use of it. That's all the tips I have for you today. I hope you found it useful. Bye, friends.